All right, the Texas floods in a nutshell. Back in the days of Obama, there was this infrastructure bill that he did where all the way across country, all these projects, these infrastructure projects that were well overdue, needed to be done. There has been testing done in reference to that whole section of river, and it's flooded over and over and over and over again. Apparently, one part of one particular camp was built in a flood zone and expanded in a flood zone. They weren't supposed to. So this was known, this was proven. So Obama gave them a bunch of money as part of the infrastructure. They said no, they refused it. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They sent it back. Donald Trump got into office. He did this whole testing everything because he wants to show that he cares and he's going to vote for the infrastructure. And all part of the Trump show. None of it happened, of course. But what he did do in the test was show that there was desperately needed, less than $1 million to completely replace and update the early warning and the siren system for both of those counties. Less than $1 million to update all of it. The radar, everything up to date. $950-something thousand. Of course, he didn't fund it. He didn't fix it. Biden got into office with his infrastructure. Part of it was $5.1 million going to Kirk County. This money went to Kirk County, and Kirk County actually had all of these uprising, pissed off people about how dare these evil Democrats give money to help an early warning system and $4 million extra dollars for whatever else that county needed. $5,100,000, 5.1. They had town hall meetings. And I'm not going to call out this woman that very proudly stated her name and threatened the Democrats, saying that, this is something that, the blood will be on the Democrats' hands because we're not taking this money because it's a deal with the devil and blah, 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 all that other stuff. So they refused the money. They wouldn't send it back because if they sent it back, it would be used in those blue states like that evil California or New York or New Jersey. So they very loudly protested even accepting money from Joe Biden, as they did with Obama. The money was there. They said no. Instead of fixing these early warning systems and doing what they need to do to make sure their citizens are safe, they expanded more into flood zones. They gave the sheriff's department raises and new equipment with that money that they didn't send back. But not a dime went for this prevention. This is 100% something that should have been prevented. 100%. It was bought and paid for over and over again by Democrats with no strings attached. No strings attached. Dear Republicans, when Democrats are trying to, and independents are trying to actually fight for this country, put money towards the infrastructure of this country, it has nothing to do with whether you're a red state, red county, blue state, blue county. It has nothing to do with that. Because you're a county in the United States, you count to us. Just because you don't feel that way doesn't mean the rest of us don't feel that way. Because we are Americans, and we care about all Americans, even in flood zones that we don't live in. Ladies and gentlemen, stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together.